Okay, so I'm back. I'm making the video in different. Um, I'm breaking up the video into different sections. First one was a half hour. What I noticed for fifth hour, I didn't know this, that you are fifth hour students weren't able to access the interactive whiteboard I was talking about. So I kind of modified it and I'll fix that other link. But for today, I don't have time to troubleshoot. So if you go to fifth hour and you see right here, it says look at today at the interactive whiteboard for today's lesson. If you click on that, then you'll get the that interactive whiteboard that I'm talking about. And I don't know why the other way isn't working for you. So I'll figure that out. But for today, for the test, you'll be able to have the interactive whiteboard. All right, so I misnumbered your Nearpod. We have two number fours. So let's work on the first number four. And it says, what is the equation in point slope form? Let me make it bigger. Let me go to this, make this bigger. Okay, it says, what is the equation in point slope form of the line that passes through the point 3, -2 and has a slope of 12? Okay, so what do we need to find? We need to find an equation. And we need to find it in point slope form. Okay, so what do I already know? Well, I already have a point, 3 and -2. And I already know what the slope is. So the slope, which is m, is 12. So brainstorm ways to solve this problem. So one thing is look at the interactive whiteboard. For the flow map. Okay? And another way is to substitute. Now, please remember, this isn't just the only way that we can do it. There are other ways, but okay, so try it here. So this one is, we're going to use point slope form. So y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. And if we go to the interactive whiteboard, let me just do that really quick here so I can show you. I did these in the flow map. So right here, flow map to write an equation in point slope form given a point, a slope, and a point. So this is the one right here. Okay, so it says identify the slope. So that's what we did. Okay, we identify the slope. Then we're going to label the points. So that's what they want us to do here. So x1, y1. Then we're going to write this point slope form. So that's what this is here. So I wrote it. Then we're going to substitute the m and the x sub 1, y sub 1 into the, it says into the slope formula, then simplify. So let's substitute what we know. So y minus y sub 1 is -2. So we're going to put -2 in parentheses is equal to the slope is 12 minus x minus, or times x minus 3. If you leave it up to here, you'll get a score of a 2.5 or 3, but I would like for you to simplify it because a negative times a negative is a positive. So y plus 2 is equal to 12 times x minus 3. Okay, that's how far I really want you to go, but you'll get like a 2.5 there, and this is like a 3 or a 4. Depending on how much work and stuff you have. All right, the second number 4. What are the x and y intercepts? All right, the graph 4x minus 3y equals 12. All right, so I think that I put it on this interactive whiteboard, but let's look. Let's check me. No, I did not. All right, so I will I'll add this to that board. Okay, so after this lesson, during my prep, I will do that. So what are the X and Y intercepts of the graph? So what do you need to find? So we need to find the X intercept and the Y intercept. Okay, what do I already know? Well, I already know if I have an equation, or I'm sorry, a graph, an X and Y axis, and if I have a graph that goes through this, I know that my y-intercept, my ordered pair there is 0 and y. And I know that my x-intercept is x and 0. Okay, so that's what I know. So I know that my y-intercept, so my x-intercept is x and 0. And I know that my y-intercept is 0 and y. All right, so now brainstorm ways to solve this problem. Again, I'll put it on the whiteboard so you can go through that. But brainstorm ways, so make a T-chart. That's the way I taught you. So where we're going to do this. So you're going to do x-intercept, y-intercept. Okay, you're going to substitute 0 in for x, for y-intercept, and then you're going to substitute 0 in for y for the x-intercept. All right, so let's do this. So x-intercept, y-intercept. So another thing I asked you to do is write these coordinates when you write your T-chart. So the x-intercept is x and 0, and the y-intercept is 0 and y. Rewrite this equation here. So 4x minus 3y is equal to 12. 4x minus 3y is equal to 12. Now you're going to substitute. You know the y is 0 here. So you're going to substitute 0 in for y. So 4x minus 3 times 0 is equal to 12. So 3 times 0 is 0, so I get 4x is equal to 12. I divide both sides by 4. X is equal to 3. So my ordered pair is 3 and 0. So if I were to graph this, my x-intercept is at 3 and 0. Now my y-intercept, x is 0, so I'm going to substitute 0 in for x. So 4 times 0 minus 3y is equal to 12. So 4 times 0 is 0, so negative 3y is equal to 12. Divide both sides by negative 3. 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4, so y is equal to negative 4. So my ordered pair is 0 and negative 4. So if I were to graph this, 0 and negative 4 would be right there. And draw my line. So that's how I graph it, which is also like number 6. So I want you to notice, what is the graph of this? This is written in standard form. Whereas the bell work, so if we go back to the bell work, was written in slope-intercept form. So we graph each one of these differently, okay? Well, we have different steps to graph each one of these is what I want to say. All right, so we did 2 number 4s. Okay, so number 5 says Issa has $450 to spend on video games. Used video games cost $45 and new video games cost $75 each. What equation in standard form, so I want standard form, let's highlight that. Oh, it won't work. Standard form determines the number of used video games and the number of new video games he can buy. Use, that's too many words, the guess method to write an equation to model the story problem. All you got to do is the G, U, and the E because we're going to have 2 variables and we don't know how to solve it yet. That's coming once we come back from Thanksgiving. It's going to be soon after that we're going to learn how to do this. So let's see. So my first is my given. So I know that Issa has $450 to spend on video games. So he has a total of $450. I also know that used video games cost $45. And I know that new video games cost $75. Then my unknown. It says, what equation in standard forms determines the number of used video games and the number of new video games? So this is where I see some people struggling with the unknowns, is you're not putting enough information on the unknowns. So I want the number of video games. Sometimes it's the number, sometimes it's the price. I need to know the difference. So is it the number that you want or the price? So when you're doing these, in order to get a 4, you have to be specific. Okay, so the number of used video games, we'll name that U, and the number of new video games, we'll name that N. So then my equation, because that's all we want, the G, the U, and the E, is, well, I know that each used video game is $45. So in order to get like a total price, when you go like to the store, they're going to multiply the number of used video games you have by 45. That's how you're going to figure out how much you owe. If you only have one $45 video game, then they're only going to charge you $45. If you have 2 used video games, well, they're going to charge you $45 twice, which is $90. So we don't know how many used video games we have. So that's why that's our variable. That's our unknown. So 45 plus each new video game is $75. So 75 times N. And I know my total needs to be $450. That's it. We're done. All right, so the last one is, what is the graph of 2x minus 3y is equal to negative 12? So what I need you to notice is when you're looking at these, you need to notice what form your equation is written in. Okay, so this equation is written in standard form. So standard form is ax plus by is equal to C. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. All right, so for this one here, it's in this form, whereas the bell work was in this form. So you might want to go back and look and compare the difference. So when I have an equation in standard form, I want to graph it by finding the x and y intercepts, okay? This one I'm going to use by the steps, by other steps, like I did in the first video. So what I want to do is find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And I want to then write the ordered pairs that represent each one of these. So the x-intercept, the ordered pair is going to be x and 0. And the y-intercept, the ordered pair is going to be 0 and y. And just like I explained in the video earlier today, just now in this second video, if I have an x and y axis and I have a graph, my y-intercept, my point at any y-intercept is going to be 0 and y. The x will always be 0. And at my x-intercept, it's going to be x and 0. So if you forget these, draw a graph so that you can remember. All right, so your x-intercept, so let's rewrite the equation. So that's 2x minus 3y is equal to negative 12. And we're going to substitute 0 in for the y. So I'm going to get 2x minus 3 times 0 is equal to negative 12. So I'm going to get 2x is equal to negative 12. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to negative 6. So my ordered pair is negative 6 and 0. So that's what this is, negative 6 and 0. So let's draw my graph here. Okay, so negative 6 and 0 will be, so this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, right here, negative 6 and 0. Then my y-intercept, let's rewrite this, 2x minus 3y is equal to negative 12. I need to substitute 0 in for my x. So 2 times 0 minus 3y is equal to negative 12. 2 times 0 is 0, so I get negative 3y is equal to negative 12. Divide both sides by negative 3. Y is equal to 4. So y is equal to 4. So my ordered pair is 0 and 4. So then I start here at the origin. 0 and 4 is here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then this is my y-intercept. This is my x-intercept. That's my line. All right, remember, you can pause me, rewind me if I went too fast, but, let us know. So for 5th hour, your test is on Monday. If you want to come to asynchronous time in the morning to study for your test, you are more than welcome to come Monday morning. Okay, your test is Monday afternoon. 2nd hour or 3rd hour, your test is on Tuesday. And remember, there's going to be no retakes until after Thanksgiving. We only have 3 weeks. So the first week after Thanksgiving, we're going to start tutoring, and then the second week retakes, and then we're done. Okay, so my suggestion is you try your best on this test this time.